and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. And welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. And welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live around the world on Facebook, on twitch.tv, on Mixer and on YouTube. While we're getting everything set up, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Runs and Rides YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/FilmMyRun, on Twitter at FilmMyRun, and you can also go to the website, which is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax and watch me do all the hard work. Right, we're off. I started the intro a bit late, I do apologise. But we've only run 600 metres of the 1 mile warm-up, so 1 kilometre left of the warm-up before we get into the meat of it. Hello everybody, hello Ryan Downey, hello Daniel DIY Tech Repairs, hello Ryan Perrin. The two Ryans are with us. And we are doing Monday Run Club for a Monday night. 7:30 UK time, but across the world, live on Zwift, and some of the usual suspects with us tonight: Verdu, Hassa, Holmes, all running in Group A, Buldering in Group B. Gradually increasing the pace, and the whole run is a progressive 10k. Just getting faster and faster each kilometre. Warm us into our training week. and we are going around the brand new track. That's a nice aerial view there of the track in Watopia. This is my third time on the track. Miguel, thank you for your ride on.
Right on!
So this track was released in the week between Christmas and New Year, and so far seems like everyone's loving it. Christopher Du, thank you for your ride on. And as Ryan points out, I have already been on today, so I did a little hill session this morning, 500 metres of climbing, and we're back on today for standard Monday Run Club fare. 1 kilometre done, 9.6 to go. So we're just going to warm into it. Don't want to burn myself out too much with chat. But I am watching Facebook, I am watching YouTube chat. If you want to say hello, please do. If you want to ask any questions as well, if this is new to you, if you're watching me for the first time, welcome along, by the way, thanks for joining me. And if you wonder what on earth you're watching, do ask, and I'll explain anything to you. Darren Van Dit, thank you for your ride on. And Brian says, whack the incline up. No, thank you. Not today, not on this. I'm going 14 kilometres an hour at the end. I am not putting any incline on. John Hepplewhite, thank you for your ride on.
Right on!
So this is what you're looking at, guys. This is the Zwift screen. Everyone listed on the right there is a real person. And you can see their country of origin as well. Happy New Year to you, Darren, as well. You've been doing some good sessions over the holiday period. So let's see if we can get through this one today in Group A. And you can see now all groups listed on the screen on the left there. So Group A, Group B at the bottom there in the green, and at the top there, C and D. So there are people running in all of those groups. Each group runs slightly different distances and slightly different paces. So if Group A is a bit too fast for you, you can drop down into Group B and further. Andrew Cutmore, thank you. You didn't do Group A at 8%. Sure, I don't believe you. You're saying you did Group A at 8%. Unless you are a truly crazy man. Right, so we've gradually wound the pace up over the course of the 1 mile warm-up, and now we are about to hit our first kilometre of effort. So it's basically from now, each kilometre we stay at the same pace. Thank you, Raj, for your ride on. We stay at the same pace for 1 kilometre, and then we bump up the speed a little bit. So away we go. Wow. Ryan, honestly, I am very impressed. There's no way I would even attempt it. Ollie Mellenster, thank you as well for your ride on. So it's nice and cool outside. I've got the doors open to the shed here at Shed Quarters. and I've got the fan on, so I'm not going to overheat. Be nice and cool. Just keep the legs moving, legs turning over. It's a bit disconcerting going through that banner each time, isn't it? Because you don't actually, I mean, you do know because you just can see it ahead, but you wonder if something's going to happen when you go through it. Paul Carter, hello. And Darren's fighting a cold. Luckily, I've managed to avoid the illness over the holidays. I've been all right, and now I need to ramp up my distance and my elevation each week in preparation for my big race in March, which is 128 kilometres across Gran Canaria early in March. So I've got 2 months of training, just getting my legs used to a bit more climbing and a bit more distance, because for the past few weeks I've been doing more speed training, which has resulted in a 5k PB, so that's good. Didn't do any 10k races, so my 10k PB is now 3 years old, so I do need to rectify that at some point. Yes, Ryan, they still haven't sorted that out yet, have they? So any of you who don't know, there is a little offset split problem with the distances in Zwift. The workout seems to tick over a little bit earlier than the kilometre splits on the left hand side. If you look at the screen on the left, kilometre splits, you can see it ticking over, timing each kilometre. Now, in the middle, it's also measuring distance, and that seems to be slightly off. And they haven't rectified it for quite some time. Maybe that they're not entirely sure what's going on. But yeah, over 10k it can work out at about 30 metres, 40 metres difference. Not a great deal in the grand scheme of things, but for the purists, it's a source of irritation. Let's put it that way. $200 metres to go, and then we go a bit faster. And there's no let up in this, there are no breaks, there's no recovery. It's just a solid 10k of getting faster. Well, 9k, the last kilometre will be a cool down. Tommy, thank you for your ride on. Okay, so here we go.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Up to 12.3. Good grief. What, 300 metres? Darren, was this in-game or was this on your videos? Right, there's the pace, by the way, and there's the incline, 0 incline. Yeah, I often take the mickey out of people if they're wearing short shorts on Zwift. Always funny to look at. But I hope you didn't take offence too much. Yeah, I honestly don't know. It's far too technical for me to try and guess what's going on exactly. If it's 30 or 300 metres, I was thinking it was about 30 or 40 metres. So like 10 metres per kilometre is being lost. See, look, now we're at 3 kilometres. And, oh gosh, yeah, we're miles off, aren't we? 3 kilometres run according to the top of the screen, but not 3 kilometres yet by a long way according to the left-hand side. Andrew Cutmore, thanks for your ride on.
Right on.
Wow, look how, that is a big difference. 100 metres difference. So yeah, it will be about 300 metres by the end. That is a long way off. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Darren. Good. Which run did you do? Yeah, that distance is the furthest off I've seen it, but it must be something to do with the track, yes. Interesting. So, yeah, and the track is 400 metres. We've just gone through the barrier, the banner, before the 400 metre mark. Ryan, thanks for the ride on.
Right on.
Okay, so Ryan did the 11:30 Monday Run Club with the cool kids, he says. And Darren ran at midday with Simon Funnell, Kato Jokstad. Oh, good stuff. I was hard at work on my laptop at that time. I do actually do some work during the day, occasionally. Right, less than 200 metres to go and we bump it up again. If you're not signed up to the Zwift Runners Facebook page, go and join. You'll get a lot of information there about Zwift's latest news, what's going on, the different events that are coming up, and a lot of the live streams are posted there. So Darren will post his live streams there. I post mine. Tim will post his. Another guy, Guy Roshas from Israel, he posts his live streams up there. So it's worth having a look. Right, here we go. 12.6 kilometres per hour now for another kilometre. 7 kilometres left to run. Darren, we will run together plenty of times. Apart from if we're racing, you know, I'm quite happy to let you go. But if we're doing it on the track, you can just say hello every time you pass me. I like to think I'm not a slow runner, but I'm by no means fast. 390 as we go through the banner. Okay, should be 4.71 for the next kilometre. So we're just about to hit 4 kilometres at the top there now. Didn't see any XP points jump up though. John Hancock, thanks for the ride on. But we're a good 20 odd seconds away from the kilometre split on the left. Urquhart, thank you. It's a bit quiet on the Zwift chat, isn't it? The actual game. I suppose people are concentrating and working hard, aren't they? It's a bit difficult to type and run at the same time. I'm feeling like my faster pace is a bit better recently. Yeah, 19:30 for 5k is fairly comfortable for me at the moment, but still getting under 19 is hard work. And the problem is now I have to start ramping up the distance for the race in March, which will negatively impact my short distance speed, which is a shame because yes, I have been getting a bit better recently. Ryan, thank you for your ride on, and Happy New Year to you as well, buddy. So my 5k PB, which I did 2 or 3 weeks ago, is now 18:57, so it's only just under 19. Having said that, I did run into the wind for a couple of kilometres on that run, so it's possible I could hit maybe 18:50, 18:45 if I had a really good day. But I mean, for the people like you and Tim, that's bread and butter stuff, that is. Right, 40 metres, and we go up again, 12.9.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, there we are. Tim, I didn't notice. I didn't take any notice, so if you saw what it was. Yes, Ryan, to be honest, I mean, I think for me, anything under 20, and I'm happy with. Anything over 20, I feel like maybe I should have tried a bit harder. Unless I'm running with my kids or my wife, and then I've got a good excuse. Yeah, interesting. Okay, just coming up to 5k now. According to the blue mark at the top, there's 5k. But we are 41 seconds away from the 5k marker on the left-hand side of the screen. Tomet, thank you for your ride on.
Ride on!
And Peter Byrne, thank you as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the Zwift Live channel. All my live running videos are on there. All the Zwift videos. Oh, damn it, I didn't realise my wife would actually be watching this. I'm so sorry. Listen, my plan is to get Victoria to at least a 22.5 minute park run at some point, 22.5 minute 5k in the not too distant future. That's my plan. I've no idea what her plans are. Yes. Oh, Carl, that's a good idea. Hurdles. That'd be hilarious. Hurdle session on the track in Zwift. How would we make that work? How could we do the jumps? Yeah, I am now in trouble with the wife. It's lucky I have had my dinner already, or I think I wouldn't be getting any. Heart rate is 155, which is nice, and that feels about right. So the watch is working okay. Eric Min, CEO of Zwift, thank you for your ride on. I'm sure Zwift HQ are pretty pleased with how well the track has been received. Although it does appear that the kind of default spawn point is the track now. So if you just log into Zwift and go to run and you don't really pay attention to the route that you want to go on, it will just plonk you on the track. Now for a new runner, it would be hilarious if they'd never seen Zwift before and they're plonked on the track and they just run around the track and don't realise that there's miles and miles of other road to run on. It could happen. Somebody could do that. Okay, the kilometres are flying by now. So here we go with another one.
Nice.
13.2 kilometres per hour. Gandolfi, thank you for your ride on. And Vadlan, thank you as well.
Ride on.
From Germany. Matthias, no. Myself, John Hancock, and Tim Gross, we're all waiting on our review units of the Run module. Owen Casey, thank you.
Right on.
And we really hope they arrive soon because we don't want to miss the mark really for reviews. I just can't say anything about it until I've got one and I've checked it. But there are mixed reviews coming through, aren't there? Some people saying it's working fine. To be fair, a lot of people saying it is way better than using the Zwift pod, but also a lot of people saying that it is over-reporting by quite a lot. So, interesting. Looking forward to getting mine and judging for myself. Yes, it's getting worse, isn't it? So we're still, although Tim is still keeping an eye on the kilometre splits, which are way off. Worst I've seen them. Whether it's something to do with the track, measurement of the track, and where we're actually running on the track. In terms of, you know, if you were on the outside of the track, obviously your lap would be a lot more than 400 metres. Ruse, thank you for the all ride on.
Right on.
Oh, Darren, definitely get a stride. You won't regret it. T-Wack from, is that France? Thank you. Heart rate up to 158 now. And again, I think that is about right. I'm not overly exerting myself, but I'm expecting it to get into the orange in the next couple of kilometres. Orange being zone 4, so around about, what is it, 160 something, 163, 4, something like that. And just to rub salt into the wounds, Ollie is getting his stride tomorrow. Good luck, Ollie. Hope you enjoy it. 200 metres to go, and then we bump it up again. Six, 6, 6. Well, Ryan, I'll just let you know, this watch that I currently have, this Fenix 6, is not as good at optical heart rate as my previous Fenix. It is a better model, but quite often it takes 2-3 kilometres before it starts to read correctly. Right, 13.5. 3 more kilometres of hard effort, and then we get to cool down. Or moderate effort, given my heart rate. Darren, yes, I'll be doing Tuesday, turn up Tuesday at midday. UK time, midday. I think, anyway. I haven't actually looked to see if it's on, but I assume it's on. Seven kilometres done, 3.8 to go, which is interesting because the run is supposed to be 10.6, I think. Yeah, I think that should be the same one, yeah. It's so easy to get set up for Zwift running. All you need are a few things. Firstly, access to a treadmill. Either at home or at the gym, it doesn't matter what kind of treadmill you use, any treadmill will work with Zwift. Next, you need a foot pod, preferably a Bluetooth foot pod, and the most popular ones to use at the moment are the Zwift Pod or the stride. Then simply download the Zwift app onto any of these devices. So a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android phone. Zwift even works on Apple TV. Pair your footpod in the app, possibly add a heart rate monitor if you like, and that's it. You're all set up for Zwift running.
Thanks for all the ride-ons that came through then. Jason Darby, good evening to you, buddy. Starting to work a bit harder now. So kilometre 7 was in zone 4, so I must hit zone 4 kind of mid-50s, mid-150s. 400 metres, and then we go again. Feeling okay though, just, you know, as the run goes on, you work harder, don't you? You feel it more. We've still got Marcus Holmes, 4 seconds ahead. Michael Hasser, 6 seconds ahead. Humphreys just ahead of me. Cedar just behind. Sisselberg just behind. All Group A runners. And Patry from Canada is 20 seconds up. No, Jason, the Zwift pod is all right for steady running at about 10k per hour, but anything more than that, anything complicated, and it won't work for you. So 100 metres to go, and then we've got our penultimate rise in speed. Oh really, the Garmin footpod is quite good, but it isn't as good as the Stride. I think the amount of running you do on Zwift, Darren, you deserve a Stride. 8 kilometres run, 2.84 to go. Thierry Macklin, thank you.
Right on.
Krista Holt, thank you very much for your ride on. Go and look at the Zwift website, zwift.com/run. Sign up to Zwift Running, which is free. Yeah, that's some mileage. Darren, well done. You'll catch me in no time. 400 metres to go. And then we've got the final bump up. What's nice about the track is seeing so many other runners as you pass them because they're in other groups. It's nice. So we really are getting to the crux of the matter now. 100 metres to go, final pace increase, and then we'll see what happens in the cool down, how long it takes for us actually to slow down.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hammer time!
So according to the top, 9 kilometres done. Marcus Holmes, thank you.
Right on!
But over a minute before I complete kilometre 9 on the left-hand side splits. Oh, Ryan. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Brilliant. Thanks for the heads up. So Ryan Perring says that we don't slow down an awful lot through the cool down. So what does often tend to happen is we get to the cool down and we just basically keep going at the same pace, which is very annoying. And it's entirely Tim Gross's fault. Well into zone 4 now. 168 heart rate, so working hard now. Marcus, never heard of it, so I will look it up after this. Yes, and Darren's reminding me tomorrow we start the Zwift Tour of Watopia for the first time. Running is a thing you can do on the Zwift Tour of Watopia. Nice aerial view there. And rightly so, Perring. Okay, 200 metres and then we'll see what happens.
Nice.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Right on.
Thanks, D Wood. And Mike McCarthy, head of Zwift Running.
Right on.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, of course. Brilliant. I might have known. Or maybe it is the 12th then. I can't remember. Weinstein, thank you.
Right on.
Don't say, have you enjoyed that? Still doing it. Ask me that in 800 metres time. Still going at 14.1. This is not funny. 14.1. Finally. $700 metres to go. And we're starting the cool down. Well done, everybody, good job. So gradually slowing it down. Willie Grider, thank you for your ride on.
Right on.
Bring the heart rate down, hopefully. Stars look good though, 9 out of 10 so far. Should get all 10 stars. $400 metres to go. Okay, interesting. So have a look at Tim's comment on the stream. McManster, thank you.
Right on.
He's been measuring the kilometres for the past 3 or 4 kilometres. So that line, that light on the edge of the track, that's got to be bang on 400 metres. And whatever I do on the track, I'm never going to hit 400 metres because I will never be that close to the edge of the track. But is Tim saying it's even further out than that? Thanks for the ride on, whoever that was. And Huddle, thank you as well. to the end now. Good job, everybody. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you next week, says Tim. And we are pretty much done.
Nice.
For Monday Run Club, January the 6th, 2020. Yes, Willie, that's exactly what I said a little while ago. It's really nice to see everyone together, isn't it? How long it will last, because I do like to see different scenery, but of course, some of the scenery on Zwift, we have been running around for years now. Some of us have been doing the Watopia hilly route for 5 years now. So it's always nice to have new places to run. And of course, eventually the track, we'll get tired of the track like we did of the desert. You know, we ran on the desert for ages, didn't we? And then we moved into the forest, I think, didn't we, or something? Can't remember. And before that, we were on the beach route for a long time. So it's good to change things up, and we'll stay on the track for a little while now, and then we'll move on to something else. But that was good, enjoyed that, really good. Nice to have everyone running together. And that's a pretty decent set of splits there. In terms of heart rate, that's exactly what you expect and what you would want. So for Monday Run Club, we're not looking at going into zone 5. We're not doing anaerobic hard workout. We're doing an endurance, a threshold run. So we're starting off in zones 2 and 3 and building into zone 4, teaching you that you can survive running distance. I mean, 6 miles is not massive distance, but it's better to be running fast at the end of your run than at the beginning and slowing down. The way to do a run is even splits, but if you can, speed up all the way through. That is the kind of goal, the ideal way to run certainly a training run, unless you've got a specific thing to do in mind. But training runs, if you can start slow and make it fast by the end, you're doing well. And in a race, if you can do the second half of your run, if your race faster than the first, then you are doing absolutely brilliantly, because most people slow down in the second half. But that's just about pacing. It's just about knowing what you're capable of, setting sensible goals, sensible targets for your run. So if you think that running a 4-hour marathon is achievable, if you know that you can quite comfortably do a 2-hour half marathon, then of course set off at 4-hour marathon pace. But if you've never got near a 2-hour half marathon, then you're not going to get anywhere near a 4-hour marathon. It's pointless setting off at a 4-hour marathon pace. Set sensible targets, and then even splits or even faster in the second half of your run is a realistic thing to hope to do. Anyway, enough of me waffling on about training. I am now at the beginning of an 8-week training block where I need to increase my elevation for the weeks and my mileage for the weeks. So if you see me slacking off, do give me some stick, please, because it's very easy. I can easily slack off, believe you me. I can easily miss runs. So give me some stick, tell me to get my arse in gear over the next 8 weeks till the end of February, and I'll be in a good place for my 128k across Gran Canaria in March. Thanks for watching, everybody. Do subscribe to the Zwift Live YouTube channel. I'll see you tomorrow for Turn It Up Tuesday. Turn It Up Tuesday tomorrow live on this channel, and it'll be at 12 o'clock midday UK time. Thanks for joining me, everybody. If you did run, well done. See you later. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.